Okay. This video is going to show what's going to happen after um, after you've already done everything you know how to do, but now you're going to start doing. Now you'll have the property lines sent to you by Jacob or someone who can do boundary analysis. Um, First thing you're going to do is you'll go into your annotate and do a line. You need to annotate the dimension of the house to the front property line. And you want to do that to, so I'm going to click from the start of the house to a point on the property line that's going to be perpendicular to it. And you want to show the closest that the house is to it. So although this counts like that, 97 feet being further than 75 feet, that's not what we're going to show. So if your house is parallel to a property line like that, it's good to just try both corners out and just get into the habit of making sure you're actually showing the proper one like that. Now we're going to do the house to the sideline, doing a perpendicular and another perpendicular, making sure like this one doesn't have any fences or anything super close, but I do have this driveway, making sure that I'm not pasting the text into lines that are going through it. So I can either move it here with a near snap. I can move it here maybe. That doesn't change, doesn't really matter too much which one of those. I've got other buildings here. You're never going to get in trouble for annotating too much. So that right there looks good to me. We've got another one here. We could, although it's not perpendicular, we could just show that this is a dimension here. And what we've got right here is a line and this symbol going through the text. So I want to pull it out. Yeah, we could do this. So if even if I were to have gotten this this to sit right here, the line would, the rod itself would be covering up my arrow, which I do not want. So I'm going to move these up here and move this out of the way a little bit more. I'm going to click on this at Control-1 to bring my property palette, and I'm going to turn my extension lines on. And you can see at the end of my arrows that you'll see a line corresponding to where they're actually telling you the point is. So now it's unobstructed. Here, if for instance I wanted to, I have options of moving my text in other ways. If I wanted to move with the dim line, this is kind of like what I was doing earlier when I first moved it. If I wanted to move the text only, this can move the text. I can undo it to get my leader back. Move with the leader. This one doesn't make the arrows move. And if you're close enough to like the line that goes out, you can kind of keep it, but it's not always the best. I'd probably do it to like right there, unless it doesn't want to do it. This is well, get that 4 out of the line. Let's put it right. Let's put, I mean the apostrophe right there was good. We have no more buildings to annotate, so now we're going to go and align the fences. This we're going to just kind of go for it right there. Now what I'm not going to do is put the dimension into the property line like right there, because again I've got the arrows and the fences covering up the actual, I mean the rod and the fence covering up the arrows. So I'm going to annotate it and then pull it away a little bit so that it's readable. Going to come up here to pretty much anywhere that my property line is near my fence and points of interest. So that's 0.4. Now, if I get to a spot like this where I go to annotate how far it is and it's below 0.3 feet, I'm just not going to show it. There's a couple of reasons behind that, but just for now, know that we don't show anything below 0.3 feet. That doesn't exist. So going through and just annotating all these spots, and we'll fix them later. Here you can see that the fence kind of bowed out a bit, so I'm just going to annotate that spot. This one I'll put here to show that it's 56 feet away. And I will pull this one out and do an extension line to the rod. This is obviously pointing up fence. This one here. So on and so forth. And but I am not done yet. Now I need to annotate what I'm actually fixing. So you will go through the entire property, annotate points of interest. Generally just need one. Like I took the property line. I either went from the fence and I picked one of the property lines to go parallel to. It really doesn't matter so much. In fact, this one I'll just do like to the fence and then put it right there. This is because you can kind of see it's consistent here. You're not really going to mess this up, and it's not gonna, I don't know. It's not that it's not important, but it's not that if you don't get it perfect, it's not a big deal. Yeah, I'll do like that. Anyway, that's enough. Now what I'm going to do is actually annotate what's going on. So this is going to be fence out because my fence is outside of my property. Okay. This will be fence in. This is in the property. This one fence out. So on and so forth. For everything, we don't generally mention buildings. It's obvious. It's obvious what the annotation is for, and even so, still in this is obvious too. But I mean, for the fences, but we do show those. The next thing you're going to do once you do have your property lines, you're going to go to your annotate tab, add label button, go to your line and curve single segment, and you're going to add annotation, and you're going to annotate your property lines. There's a couple of ways to do this. On this one, I'm going to select all my property lines, isolate them, just so I only see them and I don't accidentally click on something else. I'm going to change my label style to line and curve at the top and existing bearing and distance. I'm going to click on all my property lines. If the property line ends up outside of the boundary, then that means that the label is showing clockwise. So if you follow it, it's going southeast, southeast, and southeast and northwest, going all the way around, going clockwise. But sometimes if your line isn't going that direction, it'll show on the inside. So generally it'll be going the wrong way if it is on the inside. There's a couple ways of fixing this. Obviously, you can rotate your line to be going the right way, and your annotation will follow. Or you can right click on the label, just click reverse label to make sure to get it going the right way too. And if you want to fix the label, the side that the label is on, you can also flip the label, and that just flips it around where you're annotating. Now that I've got all of my property lines labeled, I'll end my object isolation, and I'll come up to my record, which my record in this case consists of, I've already got it done here. My record in this case consists of both of these, which might be a little more complicated than I meant to show y'all, but I'll paste it here. I'll collect all of these labels that I had labeled with my property lines, and I'll take my record information and I'll isolate them. Now I'm going to explode, so X enter, all of my labels twice. If you have curve data, do not do this. And I'll show you curved data next. What you're going to do in this case is you're going to this data right here is to show your your existing call, and this data is to show your recorded information. So you're going to edit that, hit Control F. You're going to use it'll bring you to the field box category. You need to make sure if this hasn't already been set, you'll go here, you'll go to the drop down, click on objects, click on object and the field name, object type. You'll click on this button to specify which object you want to get the data from. And we're going to pull data from well, shoot, this needs to be a line. Let's say line, and this needs to be I'll move that off to the side here. You'll see why in a second. Cool. So yeah, Control F again, pick the object. That object is going to be here now. Oh shoot. Pick the object again for length. So we just put in two fields. The first one being for the angle, the second one being for the length of that object. Now, although this line used to represent what was this, you can see that it ending here and this being where our property cut out. This is the actual length of our line that this was on, and there's not a recorded length for that line, so we're not actually going to use length for this one because that doesn't have record information. And then I'll continue going through and editing all of my record information based off of the record that I drew earlier. Do a couple more. So you double click within the record information, highlight, Control F, select your object. You want to show the angle, space, Control F, select the object, choose the length. Okay, go through and move on to the next one. Edit your record label, Control F, select the object. Angle is default, so okay, Control F, object, length is okay, there. So you'll go through and repeat that process for all of your data. So that's enough for now. So I'm going to now explode all of these objects to get rid of the fields, so I can now edit that text. Because this is not how we display 89 degrees. So I'm going to go back and hit %D, and that replaces it with the degree symbol. Again, I'm going to hit %D to replace the degree symbol. Now, everybody with the special mouse can use their macro that does this and just hit the button. That doesn't actually work. I need to fix that. It doesn't work if it's a single digit. I can fix that literally after this video. Anyway, you'll go through and you'll edit all of those to make sure that they actually show 0 degrees instead of 0D. So theoretically, you'll then have all of your data shown, and you can end your isolation. Now, when I did this job originally, let's see if I can open it up. There's the data on it, or I shouldn't have done that. The data on it was too big. So I don't know if you saw in this corner right here, that line was too small to have this giant of text over it. Like even right here, that might have needed a mini label. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna create curve data and line table data the same way, pretty much. So like, yeah, here you can see that my text is going through a line. I should have moved it down or moved it back like that. So say for instance, I needed to show the record length. Well, so if I had, I'll edit the table style. So this is what it looked like originally. This is far too big for this line, and you could do this, but for demonstration purposes, you could slide it over. But for demonstration purposes, I'm going to change the label style to existing BD tag. What that does is it tags it. That tags it in order to be able to put into a table to display the information later on. So we'll do that one as a tag. And where's line one? It should be, yeah, it's this one. And this one's already a tag. In case if I didn't want to do that, if I didn't want to change it from one that was existing, I could go to my add labels feature that where labeling is going to be line and a curve, single segment. I could automatically have it come out as a bearing and distance tag. In which case I will, well, going clockwise, this would be line one. Oh, that's line five. This would be line two, being line six. So my numbers are messed up because I had already labeled this. I can fix that a couple ways. You can see table tag numbering. If I wanted to edit my stuff, I want my lines whenever I create table tags, I want them to start at one. I can change that here. Or if I wanted to renumber them, which is what I'll show you next, if I wanted to renumber, I could have them start at one. So I'm going to go renumber this. I'm going to renumber this one, which you do by clicking on it, and the tab that it goes to automatically just has a renumber tag, and it'll automatically renumber it to one. Which that I can go through to this one now, and actually renumber it, and it automatically ups the counter to notice go to two. But if I just wanted to create them off the start, I can now click, well, let's see. At creation, it should still be at one, yeah. So at creation, now it'll be at one and at two. So the two different ways to renumber, to put numbers on objects. You can either create or you can renumber. They have their individual markers, or their individual counters. So make sure to use the right one. Now, in order to get data into a table, we're going to have to create a table by going to the annotate tab, add table, figure, add line. The table style that we're going to create in order to show this information for these lines that we just annotated, those being field lines, we're going to make a field line table. I need to pull the table by using data that exists, and the data that we use is named right now as existing BD tag. So these labels right now exist under the existing BD tag label. So I'm going to pull the data from the existing BD tag labels. Just click OK and paste it somewhere. Sometimes these objects might be out of order. Like if you have multiple, it usually starts kicking in around 6. They won't be numerical order. So you'll click on the table, edit table style, and sort data. Now, now this table is showing the same exact information, the bearing and distance for this, but that only pulls our existing. If I wanted to make a record data table, then I need to pull data from record items, which is what these are for. So I had my record already drawn up over here. I copied it, and now in order to separate the data between the different tables, I'm going to go to record bearing distance. Then I'm going to, well, check my numbering. I know I need to start at 3 now. So I need creation to start at 3. Creation is at 3, okay. Creation being at 3, I'm going to add a label to this one and a label to this one, because these are the lines that I need to pull record data for. So I'm going to scroll back over here. Need to add a line table by going to the annotate tab, add table button, the figure that we're going to add is a line table figure. The style that we're going to use is a record line table, and we're going to pull data from the record bearing distance tags style to create this table. We're going to check this box. Now we have in the same rows, line 1 being supposed, you can see that line 1 here was supposed is 67.45 feet, and it's supposed to be 68 based off of field, but we have discrepancy because there's lines 3 and 4. Well, if you come over here to your label set and you scroll to the bottom right, you'll see that there are labels to solve this exact problem. You'll copy these labels from the top left corner that exists up here. That's supposed to be that is the same distance from the top of this table to these texts. So you'll place it over it, and now these text boxes have background masks to hide those two things. So you'll definitely put it on top. It should already be on top. Never hurts to just make sure and bring it to the front by selecting them. Right click, display order, bring to front. Now it makes sense to show your record data saying line 1 was 67 and it was supposed to be 68. Line 2 was 134, supposed to be 135. I have now created my record data table, and the way that this is set up, it doesn't matter how many of any one style you have, as long as you ordered it correctly and you put them under the right label style, being either record or existing, then the table will be correct. The way to do it for curve data is literally the same exact way. If we're going to do a polyline, start an arc. If these are the curves that you had for a curve table, and that's your record, and this is your existing, so your existing is going to be a little bit off of those, we can edit this stuff using curve data. So we have our curve data existing here, and we'll use we're only ever going to annotate curves in a drawing by using table tags and curve tables. We're never going to show all of the curve data off of the curve. So we'll click on a button, go to line and curve. The curve label style we're going to set to tag. We're going to tag our field starting here. So that'll be curve 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to label our record data, and it should be in the same order: 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Go to create a curve table. First one, doesn't matter which one you do. First, I'm going to do field. I'm going to pull the field data from the existing curve data of tags. Click on the box, okay, and place it. Now I'll do the same thing. By hitting enter, we'll repeat the command. I'll use the record data, click on the record data box, place it here. And in order to ensure that my 1 through 5 is shown as 1 through 5, I'll come and grab from my template over here, my curve data numbers, place it at the top left, bring them to the front, and copy this because I need more. I'll copy it from a common place. Usually I do the bottom left of the number and paste it over and over, and then just edit it to what it actually should be reading. Mind you, I didn't check, so this is a good time to check that all of my curves are in numerical order, which they are. Had they not, again, I can just go to edit table style and click on the sort data. Yeah, they were just kind of lucky that it was all in order. And there you go. Now you've got your curve data. You wanted it to display, you just put it somewhere where it'll fit. The hardest part about all this is dealing with this and figuring out how this actually works. if you need me to go over it with you specifically, just let me know. Don't try to waste too much time on figuring all this out because it is pretty difficult. All right, that's it.